Today's topic is confession. You know, in our day-to-day life, we will come across this word. Do you remember in which religious place that you have heard this word? Confession. There is a place called confession box. Do you know? If you ever visit a church and there is a small place, and with a small window, and the one who commit the crime, the wrongs in his life, he will go sit there inside, and on the other side of the box there will be a Christian priest. He will be considered as the representative of God. And the one who has committed the crime, he will simply go sit like this and tell what all he has done in his life. He will make it to that priest. This is called confession. For our topic, Indian Evidence Act 1872 do not contain the definition for the word confession. Then where you can find the word? Where you can find the definition? Remember, when you want to become a criminal law advocate, you must have a beautiful book called Stephen's Digest on Evidence. What is the book? This big book, Stephen's Digest on Evidence. And in that book he defines confession is an admission made by the accused about the charge against him. Okay? So you must have it in your mind. The word confession means it is only related to the crimes and not to the civil matters. Who has to make the confession? Whose confessions are relevant? Let us analyze in the very simple things. You know the questions. First, you take the questions. Question is this: what is confession? What is confession? Discuss the evidentiary value of confession before a police officer. Another question, start inverted comma. No confession made to a police officer shall be proved as against a person accused of any offense. Explain, comment. So let us analyze. When the moment in the examination, when you come across the word confession, write only this much and nothing else. You will pass. Right? Okay. We the human beings, we have good mind and also bad mind. We have good thinking and also bad thinking. Some of us will commit crimes. Some of us justify the crime. But some of us, they repent for the crimes. They're inside the mind, inside the heart, they start crying for the crime done by them. Such persons voluntarily, thinking of God, they come out and tell how they committed the crime, and they beg for excuse. They beg the God for excuse. They promise not to repeat that crime. Okay, that means the one who makes the confession, it must arise in his heart that he has the duty to make the confession. It is his free mind that he is going to make the confession. And the confession should not be under the compulsion, influence, coercion of any other persons. Section 24 says only this much. Confession is irrelevant if it is the result of an undue influence, if it is the result of coercion, threat, or compulsions, or promise of advantage, or fear of injury. Then if they secure the confession, it may be by anyone, it is not a valid confession. Generally in our day-to-day life, in the world of crimes, it is the police department. Police authorities secures the confession and present it before the court of law. And the question is it valid? Is it a valid confession? Section 25 and Section 26 says this much. Police authorities, police officers inside the police station or in the presence of a policeman, the accused need not make any confession. If he make the confession, it will be considered as the confession in the police custody, and it is not a valid confession. But you may be shocking. If you have any police officers in your life, ask them, do you have the power to beat an accused and to collect information from him? Yes. A good police officer will say, we have the power to beat the accused under one section, that is called Section 27 of Indian Evidence Act. This section gives immense power to the police department to secure the confession. Here it says, confession by a police officer is irrelevant, but if the confession is by Section 27 and the police department finds out the evidences in support of that confession, it is called consequential discoveries. Okay? Consequential discoveries, that means the discoveries, the finding of the evidences made after securing the statement by the police from the accused. Then, if there is a strong evidences, then the court says, Section 27 says, yes, confession secured by the police in the police custody is a valid confession. Once, I'll explain in only 2 sentences. There was one justice in our Supreme Court of India called Justice Goswami, a very tremendous judge. And in one case he said, Section 27 is unconstitutional, we must remove it. But very bad. He was the only dissent judge. And others said, no, Section 27 in Indian Evidence Act has to be there. It is essential for investigation. Okay, don't worry, don't write that much, but simply I gave you this point. I'd like to give you 3 beautiful cases. First case is called Pulukuri Kottayya versus Emperor 1947. I think all of you know Telangana. Today you can see Telangana state separate from Andhra Pradesh. In those days there were zamindari feudalities. There were two big zamindars. One was called Pulukuri Kottayya, and another gang, another zamindar was called Shivayya. Both have the enmity, both have the richness, both have the mind to destroy others. So what happened? Pulukuri Kottayya and his gang members, they will have a gang. They one day made a plan. They decided, we must kill the opposite zamindar. We have to do it systematically. According to the plan, they collected information at what time, on which date, that Shivayya and his friends are coming to a particular place. They collected information. At that time, it was night. It was very dark in the night. But Kottayya and his big gang, with different weapons in their hand, they were silently waited. Shivayya and his friends came. They didn't know about the presence of Kottayya gang. Finally, Kottayya and his friends attacked and killed Shivayya and so many gang members of Shivayya. A barbarous death. After killing in the night, they ran away. They ran to their villages and they hid all the weapons in different places, only known to them and not to others. Afterwards, so many deaths have taken place. Police came to the scene. They studied the history and they discovered who might be the killer. So they thought the feudality of two zamindaris, and the police have arrested this Kottayya and all his members. They gave treatment to all of them, and they requested the court, give us the police custody of these people. Don't send them to the judicial custody. We want to have them. The court gave them the police custody. You know, the police custody is a custody without laws, without rule of law, without humanity. Wonderful treatment meted out to Kottayya. He agreed, he accepted. Every member of their gang agreed. And you know, they said, we are the killers. And they narrated everything. And they have given it in writing that I, Pulukuri Kottayya, on this and this day, I waited for Shivayya. And at that time, I, with my sword, I attacked and killed Shivayya. They have given it in writing. They have signed. Afterwards, they took the police department to their villages. See, I told you, they are the only person to know where the weapons have been hiding. Police discovered all the weapons and they produced all the weapons and the statements before the court of law. And the question comes, the validity of confession in the police custody. And the court said, yes, you have made the discoveries, and it is from a private place where no other human beings can have an access to that one. Yes, it is a secret place, and we appreciate that. And they have given validity to the discoveries and also the recording of confessions by the police officers. And they have convicted all the members of Kottaya and the gang. Okay? Enough. Now we will go to another painful case. State of Uttar Pradesh versus Doman Upadhyaya, 1960. Hope you may not like this case, or you may like this case. There was a landlady, very sincere, honest landlady. She found a very poor girl. She adopted the girl as the daughter. And the girl has grown. She has grown to the age. And that landlady, found a boy and performed her marriage. And that boy had an uncle. Okay? That boy had an uncle. Both of them started taking care of the land. Lots of agricultural land. They started taking care of it. See how the time changes. One day, the landlady was coming towards her home. Her home is somewhere there. She is coming slowly. She saw that some strangers are standing in front of her house. Gradually she came very close to the house and she heard. She came to know that son-in-law and his uncle, they are entering into a transaction to sell the land belonged to the lady. See the fun. Here is the landlady and that son-in-law, that home son-in-law we can call, and he is trying to sell off the property. Landlady become very angry. I have given life to these people and now they are trying to sell my property. She became angry and she said, you don't have the right to speak about my land. Immediately son-in-law gave a slap to the lady. His words is as follows. Hey you are a lady. You don't have the right to speak in front of me. I am the son-in-law. I am a male. She received the pain and went inside. Next day morning, they discovered the dead body of this landlady, where on her entire body there were marks of injury caused by an instrument, an iron instrument. And the two persons were missing. You can imagine who are the two persons. Son-in-law and son-in-law's uncle, both were missing. Police conducted the investigation. They traced both the persons. Both the criminals were arrested, produced before the court. And they took the police custody. Inside the police custody, they made the statement. They made all the statement and they said, come with me. I will show you the place where I have thrown the instrument. That instrument in Hindi, it is called Gandasa, not Kannada Gandasa, it's Gandasa. The son-in-law took the police officers to the spot where he was thrown. It was a well-like structure without any water. He just entered into that well and he came out with that instrument. That instrument contained the blood. It was a valuable piece of evidence. It was seized and examined. And the medical report came, it says, the blood found on this instrument is same as that of the blood found in the victim's body. So, the court accepted the confessional statement made by the son-in-law and his uncle. And you know, the court said, this is a valid confession, even though it has been recorded by the police department. They have discovered the proof, evidences on the basis of the confession. So, son-in-law and his uncle, they were convicted on the basis of this. Now let us go to one more beautiful case. State of Maharashtra versus Dhamu Gopinath Shinde, decided by the Supreme Court in the year 2000. India is a land of traditions, faith and beliefs. We believe in God and goddesses. We offer rituals to God and goddesses. This case is also based on one such belief in the God and the rituals towards the God. In Maharashtra, there is an area called Nagpur, and surrounding Nagpur there is a very big dense forest where no ordinary human beings can enter into the forest. There was the religious persons, Hindu religious persons, what you can call as Jyotishis or Shastris or Swamijis. There was one such people, one group of people. They were believing in the human sacrifice. I am using the word human sacrifice to appease the gods and goddesses so that they will get the money, property, prosperity. All these people made a plan. According to the plan, they started kidnapping children, 5 years, 6 years or 7 years of age. They used it to kidnap. And many children were found missing. Unfortunately, one day what happened? One young boy, maybe 7 years of age boy, he was kidnapped. That boy was very intelligent, very clever. He escaped from the clutches of that Swamiji and his chelas. Many kilometers he walked, he ran, he reached the place. He met his father, narrated everything, and then they informed the police, and then the police started the investigation. The police opened up all the earlier cases. So many missing complaints had come to the station. Now the police officers started worrying, what's going on in this Nagpur? In the name of religion. The boy took all the police team to that place. All the Swamiji, chelas were arrested. And you know, I do not know the name of the movie. On this case, they have shot in Hindi cinema, which was a hit movie in around 2002 or 2003. I don't know the name of that case. There, the police arrested and took that persons. The police got the custody of them, and wonderfully the police collected the statements. The statement is as follows. The Swamiji, the Chelas, and so many other people, they gave all the statements. They says like this: we worship Kali Mata. We want to sacrifice the innocent children. Kali Mata will be happy. She will give us the treasures. So far we have killed so many children. Once in 2 months, once in 3 months, we have killed the children. Come with us. They will show you the place. You don't remember? The police team found it very hard to enter into the forest with these criminals. They took him into the dense forest. Even the sun rays don't fall inside. The police were shocked that there was a place, there was a platform inside the deep jungle. It was full of blood, foul smell of the blood. And there was a kalash, you know, kalash, okay? It is a vessel, it's a vessel, okay? And that vessel was used to cut off the head and to collect all the blood. And all the blood, there was a goddess's statue of Kali Mata. And you know, they were offering the blood to the Mata. And the police collected all the evidences and presented before the court. And the court said, yes, Section 27 gives the power to the police department to collect the information from the accused. Without this section, the police cannot function. So, here in this case, they collected such evidences which proves beyond reasonable doubt about the killings of the children. Police even discovered heads of the children. And the bodies, you know, they have simply thrown the bodies in some different places. They have discovered some of the bodies of the children. Hope you like this. Kindly see that in the movie, which will help you to understand this case. So here, the court has accepted that discoveries based on the confessional statement gives validity to the confessions within the police station. Okay, that much is enough. I have given you more cases here. That much is enough. Okay, remember. Now we will come to the second exception, where the confession by the police officers, police custody is valid. So second exception is this: confession to magistrate under section 168 of Criminal Procedure Code. So CRPC is a different subject, but there, if you become an advocate, you have to remember section 168. What it says, remember, these are the steps that has to be followed by the magistrate. What is the duty of a magistrate? He must be sincere, honest. He should not care for any authorities. He should only respect the law. Section 168 says like this: department produces the accused either with handcuffs in the office of the magistrate, and they salute the magistrate and say, "Sir, he is ready to make the confession." So they bring the accused and say, "He is ready to make the confession." Magistrate has to do these steps. They should tell the police, "Please go to the other room, allow him here." First human examination by the magistrate is this. He must see the body of that accused. Is there any mark of injury? Is there any mark of pain? Is there any mark of threat or coercion? He must examine. When the magistrate thinks there are injury marks on his body, then magistrate will see, so and so, what's her name? Okay, have you eaten your food? Have you met a doctor? Have you consulted a doctor? Why there is a mark on your face? Do one thing, immediately he has to write. Okay, write. From today, for the next 15 days, you will stay in the judicial custody. Okay? So he will call the police and hand him the order and tell him, you keep him in the jail, and no police officer, no CIDs, no crime branch, they have any right to even to come near him. This is called judicial custody. So once in the judicial custody, he will be given proper food, proper medication, drugs or injections, so that he will once again become strong mentally and physically. 15 days will heal. In the absence of police officers, it will heal. Consider after 15 days, he will be called and presented once again before the magistrate. And the second time the magistrate has to observe. Good, that is improvement. Oh, have they given you the food? Have they given you the medicine? And if he is happy, then the magistrate will say, see, you don't have the compulsion to make the confession. No, I don't compel you. Nobody can compel you to make the confession. If you are voluntarily interested, if you really want to make the confession, only then it will be recorded. And remember, this confession is a weapon against yourself. It will be used against yourself. It will be harmful to you. So think again. If you insist, sit down and give the story. Otherwise, you need not make the confession. Simply go away. In practical life, no magistrate will do this. In practical life, it's only in the book, not in the practice. That is the truth of this country. Consider the magistrates have told him, and the man that accused say, no, your honor, I want to make the confession. From my heart I am telling, I want to make the confession. Then the magistrate, he will sit. Personally he will sit. Or if he is having an assistant, and the assistant will start writing down the story. Slowly, systematically, they will write down. Finally, when he says, that's all, your honor, then the story will end. And you know, the magistrate or the assistant shall read over the story once again to that accused, so that they can receive the corrections. And after receiving the corrections, they have to ask that man, if he is literate, to sign. If he is illiterate, left hand, thumb impression. Afterwards, he will be allowed to go back. After taking the signature of the accused, the magistrate has to affix a certificate. It is as follows. I, so and so, magistrate, today, he will put the date and the time, I have commenced recording the confession of this person from 9 a.m. up to 10 a.m. I have instructed all the laws to the knowledge of the accused, and I am satisfied that he voluntarily, freely has made the confession. Then afterwards he must put his seal and the signature. Okay? And then this confession will be a valid document, and outside the police are there. Remember, outside the police are there, or a little away from the place of recording, the police personnel will be there. This is confession recorded in the police custody. Even then it is valid if the magistrate follow all these steps. Okay? So 168 of CRPC. Okay? So this much of answer you have to write in the examination. Okay? So when the moment you come across confession, write this much, you will pass. Enough for today. Thank you.